Something new just entered the war at sea. No crew, no pilot, no one on board. It moves at night. It communicates in milliseconds, and it doesn't hesitate. For decades, naval warfare was defined by aircraft carriers, destroyers, and submarines. Massive machines crewed by thousands of trained sailors. But something shifted, quietly, quickly, and the Persian Gulf will never be the same. Iran didn't see it coming. And by the time they understood what was operating in those waters, it was already too late to adapt. In this video, we're breaking down 3 systems that have fundamentally changed how war is fought at sea. Not in the future, right now. These aren't concept weapons. They're operating, they're tracking, and in some cases, they're already acting. By the time this video ends, you'll understand why every major naval power on the planet is watching the Persian Gulf with one question. Is this the future of war at sea, or is it already the present? Let's start with System 1. Picture a patrol boat. Standard hull, powerful engines, all the sensors you'd expect on a modern military vessel. Now remove the crew. No captain, no sailors, no one to rescue if something goes wrong. What you're looking at is an uncrewed surface vessel, a USV, and it's not science fiction. It's already cutting through the waters of the Persian Gulf right now. These machines can operate for days without stopping. They don't sleep. They don't need food. They don't panic under fire. They respond to commands in microseconds. And when they're set to autonomous mode, they don't need commands at all. The US Navy's Ghost Fleet Overlord program pioneered this concept. Large, armed, autonomous surface ships designed to patrol, surveil, and, if needed, engage threats without a single American life on the line. But here's where it gets serious. In the Persian Gulf specifically, the geography creates a nightmare for traditional naval forces. The Strait of Hormuz, the narrow choke point through which 20% of the world's oil supply passes, is barely 21 miles wide at its narrowest point. That's a kill zone. Iranian fast attack boats have long exploited this geography, swarming, harassing, and threatening commercial shipping for decades. Their strategy was simple. Use numbers, use speed, use unpredictability. USVs changed that equation completely. Because now you have a vessel that can match an Iranian fast boat for speed and exceed it in reaction time. A vessel that can track multiple threats simultaneously. A vessel that can hold a position in contested waters without risking a single sailor. And here's the detail that changes everything. These ships don't just patrol independently. They communicate with each other. They share targeting data. They form coordinated networks in real time, meaning 5 unmanned patrol boats can act like a single, unified intelligence. Iran built their maritime strategy around exploiting human hesitation, around rules of engagement, around the fear of escalation. USVs don't hesitate, and that fear, it no longer applies. Now here's the problem with any patrol, crewed or uncrewed. You have to see the threat before you can respond to it. The Persian Gulf is vast. It's busy. On any given day, hundreds of commercial vessels, oil tankers, fishing boats, and military ships are moving through those waters simultaneously. Finding a threat in that chaos, in real time, is like finding a specific fish in the ocean. That's where System 2 comes in. AI-assisted maritime surveillance. This isn't just radar. It's not just cameras mounted on a hull. This is a layered, integrated intelligence system that combines satellite feeds, drone overwatch, surface radar, sonar arrays, and machine learning algorithms into a single operational picture. Let's break down what that actually means. Traditional naval surveillance worked in isolated layers. A radar operator watches his screen. A sonar technician listens to his feed. A satellite analyst reviews imagery hours, sometimes days, after it was captured. Each piece of information lives in a silo. By the time it reaches a commander, the tactical window has already closed. AI surveillance systems collapse that timeline to near zero. The moment an unidentified vessel appears in the data, whether it's picked up by radar, spotted by a drone camera, or flagged by a satellite pass, the system begins cross-referencing instantly. It checks against known vessel registries. It analyzes the ship's course, speed, and behavioral pattern. It compares it to historical data on Iranian fast attack boat movements, IRGC naval patrol routes, and smuggling corridors. And within seconds, it assigns a threat probability score. Green, yellow, red. Human analysts used to take hours to make that assessment. This system does it before the vessel has traveled another mile. But it goes deeper than that. These systems can detect anomalies that no human operator would catch. A vessel that's moving too slowly for its declared purpose. A boat that's drifting in a pattern consistent with surveillance. A thermal signature that doesn't match the hull it's attached to. In 2023 and into 2024, reports began emerging of dramatically improved U.S. and Allied situational awareness in the Gulf region. Interceptions were happening faster. Weapons smuggling routes were being cut off with unusual precision. Iranian naval movements were being tracked with a level of detail that suggested something new was operating in the intelligence chain. That something was this. The all-seeing eye doesn't blink. It doesn't lose focus at hour 12 of a watch rotation. It doesn't get distracted. It simply sees everything and instantly feeds what it sees to the network. Which brings us to the most powerful piece of this entire system. Here's a concept that most people have never heard of, but every admiral on the planet is studying it right now. The kill web, not a kill chain. A kill web. The difference matters. A kill chain is linear. Sensor detects threat. Data sent to command. Command decides. Order transmitted to shooter. Shooter engages. That chain has links, and every link takes time. Every link can be broken. A kill web is different. In a kill web, every node is both a sensor and a shooter. Every platform, whether it's a USV on the surface, a drone overhead, a submarine below, or a destroyer over the horizon, is simultaneously feeding data into the network and receiving targeting solutions from it. The result? When a threat appears, the entire network responds at once. The closest asset moves to intercept. The best positioned shooter receives the targeting solution. The surveillance layer maintains the track. The command layer monitors and can intervene, but often, by the time a human commander looks at their screen, the engagement has already been initiated. Speed, precision, redundancy. And here's why this is devastating for Iran's naval strategy specifically. The IRGC Navy has spent decades perfecting the art of swarm tactics. Dozens of fast attack boats moving in coordinated patterns designed to overwhelm a single large target, a destroyer, a carrier, with too many simultaneous threats to handle. It's a strategy built for a world where naval vessels fight as individuals. The kill web turns every Allied asset into part of a collective. Iran sends 20 fast boats at a single target. The kill web sees all 20. It assigns intercept solutions to 20 different response platforms simultaneously. It prioritizes based on threat level, proximity, and available firepower. It coordinates the response in milliseconds. The swarm tactic, the cornerstone of Iranian naval doctrine, doesn't work against a system that processes threats faster than humans can count them. Let's zoom out for a moment. Because what's happening in the Persian Gulf isn't just a regional story. 21 miles. That's how narrow the Strait of Hormuz gets. Through that passage flows 1/5 of the world's oil supply every single day. Tankers carrying crude from Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Iraq, Kuwait. LNG carriers shedded for European Asia. Billions of dollars of commerce, moving through a corridor that Iran has long considered leverage. Control that strait, and you control the pressure valve of the global economy. Iran has known this for decades. Their entire naval strategy is built around the ability to threaten, disrupt, or close that choke point in a crisis. But every strategy is built on assumptions. And the three systems we just walked through have shattered those assumptions. You can't swarm a vessel that has no crew to demoralize. You can't hide your movements from a surveillance network that never sleeps. You can't exploit human hesitation when decisions are being made by algorithms in milliseconds. The balance of power in the Persian Gulf shifted, not gradually, not obviously, but decisively. And Iran is now operating in waters that no longer favor their doctrine. This is the part of military history that rarely gets announced. There's no press conference, no parade, no moment where someone stands at a podium and says, "The rules of naval warfare just changed." It just happens. A new vessel appears on the water. A new feed connects to a new network. A new algorithm makes a decision that used to take a human analyst 3 hours and makes it in 4 seconds. And somewhere in a command center, an admiral looks at a screen showing something that wasn't there 6 months ago. Coverage. Complete coverage. No blind spots. No hesitation. No one at risk. The ships that patrol the Persian Gulf today don't need captains. The surveillance systems that watch those waters don't need sleep. And the network that connects all of it doesn't need a radio operator to relay the message. This wasn't just a new weapon deployed in an old conflict. It was a new language of war, spoken for the first time in those waters in this moment. And the nations that learn to speak it first, they won't just win the next battle. They'll define what battle means.